Hi everybody, I'm back again, and I know I said in the last video I was going to do my macaroni and cheese recipe. I was going to come on and do a video about that. I did film the video of me making it, but when I went to edit it, something happened with the audio and it went low and you couldn't really hear what I was saying, and I couldn't post that because it's useless to do a video and the audio's not good. So I'm probably going to do that again later this month, maybe if I make the dish for Christmas. So anyway, here, let's get into the review of the oval. So we start out where we left off last time, and that was with where Victoria just went down on the floor in front of Max. And so Max was not having it. He's married, and it just was not going to happen. So she gets up off the floor, and he's standing there with his fly open, and his shirt is poking through it. And Victoria goes into her, her pity party. She's saying, wants to show Max his scars on her back from where Hunter hit her. And he's just not trying to do all that, see all that. And he says, well, if you need to, if it's that you need to get out, you should get a divorce. And she's like, I can give up all this. This is what I work for, the Oval. And so she tells her life story. Well, my mother is light skinned, and she had an affair with a dark skinned man, and her family wanted her to get rid of me, but she wouldn't do it. I was literally the black sheep of my family, and that's what the episode is called, The Darkest Sheep. And so they sent me off to boarding school because they didn't want a dark stain on their tapestry. She starts talking about how she married Hunter because she saw white women marrying the same kind of guy for advantages, and she figured she saw potential in herself, and she used Hunter as the vessel to advance herself, because we pretty much know that she did all the work because Hunter just seems dumb and doesn't want to do anything at all related to being the president, but just sit up in the chair and play golf and have affairs and all that. So she gets done telling her story and everything she went through, and Max says, I'm sorry. And she's like, do you think I told you that story because I wanted you to feel sorry for me? I was like, okay, so usually when a person tells that kind of story, they are looking for sympathy. They want somebody to feel bad for them. But she flipped that on him, and she's saying, you will always be a servant, and serving people like me. I am the First Lady Saint. You will serve me with pleasure. And I'm like, I said, that sounds kind of me too right there. So you better stop it, because you can't make somebody do things like that with you and use your authority over them to get them to do it. That's wrong. It's just wrong. And he drew the line. He was like, okay, I will serve this office. And then she gets mad. It's like, go to hell. Well, you're probably already there with your what, I forget what she said, something dull life with your wife. And then she's like, call me when you're ready to leave that bitch. I'm like, how does this make Victoria any better than Denise? She's trying to sleep with somebody else's husband, just like Denise has done, so they're even. And so Jason, of course, he's lurking around. He was listening. He rises up from behind the counter like this, and Max told him, what if we've talked about this lurking around, and Jason's like, it's my house. it's really not your house, Jason. It's the people's house, and you're just, your crazy family is just staying there because your father managed to get elected president, even with being a flop. So anyway, so Max's pants were still unzipped, and Jason didn't tell him. And when Max left, he's like, "Your shirt is in your zipper." So Max goes back to command, and Kyle is talking to him. He really doesn't want to talk to Kyle. Seems like nobody likes Kyle. And finally, Kyle just tells him, "Your shirt is in your zipper." And Max tried to be like real proper and all that, but you could tell he was actually embarrassed, quite embarrassed. So on to the pharmacy. Kareem and Sharon have spent a lot of time cleaning up the mess that Barry made, and Kareem wants to press charges, and Sharon's trying to convince him not to do that, and she said something that Kareem perceived to be a threat, and it didn't sound like a threat, but that's what Kareem perceived it as being. So I'm pretty sure he's just going to go ahead and press charges, because of course Barry did wreck his store, and Kareem has an ulterior motive for trying to get Barry in trouble. So Barry kind of gave him ammunition to get him. So Hunter calls Denise, and she doesn't want to talk to him at all. Obviously, after getting beaten up by his wife, she's not going to want to talk to him. She's like, "I should go to the press with this." And but one thing I think was a fail on the part of production is that they did not make her up to look like she had been beaten up, because Victoria gave her a good beating. And there should have been some visible bruises, swelling, whatever, and they just did not. And I thought that was a fail on the part of production. So Denise is not talking to him. She hangs up, and he's all upset, trying to call her back, but she's not answering. And we'll get back to that in just a little bit, because Hunter's not done. So over at Nancy and Richard's house, Nancy is still worried about. Nancy is still worried about Barry, and that only becomes worse when Sharon comes in and tells them about the fight at the pharmacy. And so Richard goes out to find him, and Nancy's like, "Oh, I hope he's all right. I hope Richard finds him." And once again, she's not really showing any concern for her granddaughter, and it's fine if she's concerned for her son, but she can be concerned for the both of them. So I'm not sure why Nancy's not showing more concern for her granddaughter, especially since she's partially to blame for her getting kidnapped. So back to the White House. This emergency signal goes off, and the Secret Service staff, and everybody's all just scrambling to find out what's happening. And Hunter has pushed an emergency button because he wants Secret Service to go get Denise. And he's being all kinds of disrespectful to the staff. He's disrespectful to Donald. He doesn't want to do the cabinet meeting. He's like, "I can push the button for whatever I want to." And I'm like, no. It's not for you to call. It's not for you. The button's not for you to push so you can call the Secret Service to go get your mistress. So Bobby is still at Kyle's house, and Kyle wants him to go to Panama, and he's like, I can't go. I'm shot. But Kyle wants him out, and Bobby's trying to talk to him. He's like, "You're melting down. I know something's wrong. You need to talk to me. I served you with you in combat. We can't go to a shrink, or it'll go on our record. So talk to me. Tell me what's going on." Kyle doesn't talk. Kyle is trying to find out what was going on with Bobby and Lily, because he has these surveillance photos of Bobby and Lily, and Bobby just lies his way out of it. And then after Kyle is gone, Bobby calls Lily and tells her, you know, you need to watch out. But Lily doesn't want to talk to him. She just hangs up. But it was a fair warning. It was a warning that she should heed because Kyle is out to get her. So we get a scene with Gail and Picky, and I don't know what kind of name Picky is. That's the dumbest name ever, but whatever. And Jason calls Gail, and she's talking smart to him like, I'm not giving you anything, because Jason is expecting some sort of payment in exchange for him helping her get out of the White House. So she's rude to him. She hangs up on him, and despite this, she seems to think that he was going to cover for her, but that's going to come back. Her being rude to Jason is going to come back to get her, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So Barry goes over to see Denise, and he owes her money because she's like, give me my money. Where's my money? And I didn't realize this in the beginning, but so Ruth is Denise's twin, and I did not realize that it was the same actress playing Ruth because of the garb, and so I never made the connection. So Barry is trying to get in touch with somebody named Carl. I think it might be the Denise and Ruth's brother, and or somebody connected to them. And she says, well, I don't have Carl's number. I don't know anything about them since they joined that cult. And Barry's like, okay, this is important. They've got my daughter. And Denise is like, oh, no. They run. You can't get to them. You need to let this go. And Barry's like, this is my daughter. This is your niece. And everybody seems so terrified of this cult. They don't want to mess with them. You know, from in the second episode, the police seemed like they didn't even want to mess with them. So Denise isn't any much help at all. And then the Secret Service, they have a key and they come up into her store. And she says, well, I don't want to see her. And so Secret Service, getting the gloves on, they were just going to kidnap her. And so she grabs her things and is like, all right. And she leaves out of there. So Kyle goes over to Lily's house. And he has the photos of her and Bobby. And he's questioning her. And she's like, I don't like your line of questioning. And he says, well, you went into this area with Bobby and you all didn't come out for 45 minutes. So Kyle knows that something's going on because he told Bobby, if you were with her and you're not telling me, that's going to be a problem. So but when Kyle finds out exactly what happened, he's going to try to use it against Lily because he wants Donald for himself. Okay. So Jason just tells Victoria that Gail is gone. And she, of course, she flips out on the staff once again, is being very rude and disrespectful, calling them names, all of that. And I'm like, well, the staff really is not there to babysit your demonic children who just are going to make trouble any kind of way they can. No matter how much the staff tries to keep an eye on them, they're going to do what they want, and the staff can't do much about it. And he told it all. Jason told it all. Well, she left in the trunk of one of the maid's cars, and so the Secret Service is gonna search for Gail. So let's talk about Gail some more. So she's over there at Picky's in this room with this red light. It's like the red light special or something. I thought it was a motel. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be an apartment. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so Picky calls her stupid because she's saying she doesn't like the whole being in the White House and all that. And he's like, you know, there's a lot of women girls who would kill for this. And that's another thing. Gail is 16 and Picky is obviously not a minor, so that's statutory rape. So that's another problem. We'll see how that pans out. But Gail's about to have a big problem because Barry just walks up into the room and he sees Gail there with Picky, and she told that lie on Barry. So I don't think Picky's gonna be real happy that she lied on his cousin like that. So ooh, I'm anxious to see how that plays out. So that was the Oval. So just tell me what you think. Leave a comment, and as always, like and subscribe. And I'll be back next week with another review. So until then, bye.